Hello, in this video is addressed to my twin flame Shia. Hi Shia. For whoever's just watching, I thank you for watching. I'm making this video at 9:15 because I just got back from the road trip. I thought I was going to go to Sedona, Shia. I'll explain it to you. I went to Joshua Tree instead. So I have so much stuff that I had packed. All of this. This. And that was a lot for less than 48 hours. And I'll show you quickly what I got for food yesterday. I got at Trader Joe's some French loaf sliced bread, tortilla chips. I had it with salsa from Whole Foods. Mussels like Trader Joe's. Chocolate bars that I haven't even eaten yet. Some applesauce. And some tuna. So, I'm going to actually probably make, hold on, I want to show it on this camera just in case. All of this. This. All this. So it was definitely overpacking. And however, it fit in the trunk, and I had the whole car pretty much empty. So I'm going to probably make two parts to explain everything and show you all the photos, because I took a bunch of photographs. Yeah, so it might take me a long time to explain. I took 136 photographs since yesterday. A lot of them are probably like a bunch of plants from Palm Springs that I was just taking quickly from the side of the road, because I'll explain to you later. I really like the plants at Palm Springs. So it was pretty much pure torture, besides the fact that I went to Joshua Tree, and Joshua Tree something happened where like I felt at such a state of peace. Like it was like pure paradise. That's why I like to visit the vortexes, because me and you, Shai, have the ability to step into the dimension of paradise through these vortexes. And I didn't know that I was stepping into another dimension where I could tap into that, but I am. So this morning, I had breakfast through the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A, which is something I haven't done in a long time. Actually, besides the In-N-Out burger. So this was delicious. Hot coffee, hash browns, and I had cheese and egg biscuit sandwich. It was really delicious. And then I had sriracha sauce, buffalo sauce, and ketchup for the dips for the hash brown. This hot coffee tasted so good. I still have some left. It really makes a difference having hot, fresh food. And I just have had such a lack of appetite because of what I'm eating, the types of food I'm eating, how I'm eating it, that I'll explain that to you a little bit later. So I'm glad to be back, because I never wanted to go to Sedona to begin with, because basically it wouldn't have been financially possible to begin with, because basically if I were to spend like 30 days there, I would only be able to spend $16 a day, and that's actually not possible. And obviously I probably wouldn't have spent 30 days there. However, I knew I had to come back and actually eat food. So I'm going to explain to you all the notes, and I did get attacked, but not a lot. Meaning in public people. However, I was getting tortured and attacked, which forced me to have to leave the library. Forced me to have to not stay in the ACE conditioned buildings, which it's not physically possible to go to travel when you're getting tortured. So I'm going to now talk about the notes. I just put a fresh band-aid on this. It's not really healing that well because it's like the way it's cut, it's sliced open, and I'll show you. Like, it's going to heal sliced open. It's not going to close. It's like it's not scabbing over anything. It's a little affected because it's swollen. No, it's not infected. It's just a little like there's a little bit of a swelling. So I got some good signs from people who have to watch this and are getting very angry. I can't really explain it to you, but basically, whether or not they're actually giving me signs in this video, nothing can be used to be framed against me. And how I tell you if I do tell you a couple things about how I'm getting messages and signs, it could just be a symbol used by good AI, or people are actually participating. People, I believe, are participating because there's like a good AI against the bad AI right now, and the good AI is like overriding the bad AI. But Shai, you were with me the whole time, and I was told telepathically that your spirit inside me pushed me to do this trip, which I was too tired to do. I just felt too weak. Would I still be traveling? If I had more money, I definitely would not have come back, because I would have just taken extra showers. I would have used the money for extra showers and charged my laptop and electronics in the truck stops in order to make the videos for you if I couldn't go into public places. So, but the money is definitely an issue. So, and it's extremely expensive to eat on the road if you don't, because with my eating disorder, I can't just just grab like a box of oatmeal. Well, actually, hot food is not good with this summer time, but like I can't eat like the way other people can eat on the road. Like I told you, I never had a cooler. That's expensive though, to have to refill ice in a cooler every day. I never had a cooler, and going in, I'll explain it to you in a little bit. So it was very, very satisfying to have that egg and cheese biscuit sandwich, which I've been thinking about buying at Chick-fil-A for a couple weeks now, and it was worth it because it's only like $3.50. I thought it was going to be like $9. And it's just like, like with the food research, all like the real planned meals, having a complete meal with the hash browns, the breakfast sandwich, and the coffee, that makes it satisfying. If you just go and get like one little thing here and there, it doesn't make the meal satisfying. So now I'm going to talk about the notes, and I have more notes about the vortexes. I have more Sedona books that I found on Internet Archive. I kind of want to just spend a day reading about the Sedona vortexes, because I'm not there, I didn't go there. It doesn't mean I didn't want to go there, but when I was at Joshua Tree, I felt like I was like in heaven. My whole body felt like a crystal, and the breeze felt like crystal, like a stream of crystalline energy just going through, and my whole aches and pains in my body were like lifting out and pulling out of my body from the rock structures and the plants. It's only 2.5 hours away, and I would have been showing up there and taking trips. However, I don't drive in the dark usually. This was sort of a odd trip because I'm not supposed to be driving out in the dark, like at all. So I'm telling you, this was pretty much pure torture. Besides going to Josh Tree and something happening. Because they'd used AI to like strain my eyeballs to close shut while I was driving, and I had to constantly go like this, and like it was total complete AI. But after I'll tell you, like I was getting in a little bit of trouble with trying to find a truck stop to take a nap at like 1 in the morning, and then waking up and having to travel an additional hour because it was too hot. It's 94 degrees in a very bad rest area, dangerous rest area. Luckily, I got the front space right in front of where people walk in and out. And the next rest area that I stopped at was in the Murrieta Hot Springs Road, which was a nice vortex area, and luckily there was it was very slow, but the employee there was they all kind of knew. Even the cop was like giving I can't explain it, Shai. Can't completely explain it, and maybe they're not letting me to confuse you. So a lot of these notes though are things that I can't completely explain, because it's like, oh, someone just pushed like a grocery cart. Like, I can't explain to you all the details. However, I'll tell you what the messages like are that I'm getting. I did get that you're gonna contact me and you're gonna call me. I actually it was definitely good AI. Like, it's not like these people were coming up with these messages and thoughts. There was like, they were like being like messenger, and because I saw this employee with tortilla chips, and I thought to myself, I can't afford anything at Whole Foods, but these tortilla chips are only $3, and I got some salsa. That's a pretty decent meal. Snack, $6 for chips and salsa. But I ended up knowing I had to eat more food, so I'll explain that in a little bit. So, but I ended up, my last stop was at Chick-fil-A, where I was going to finally try to get some more rest, because I drove like 40 minutes and they were doing the extreme torture. Like, I can't keep my eyes open. So but they say, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing, Alyssa. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing at these energy vortexes, and when I'm driving around the road. I don't know what I'm doing. I've been briefly told, so like somehow there's some kind of ley line activity that's occurring. Very vague. Yeah, it's pretty illegal that I don't know what I'm doing at this point at 38 years old. It's pretty illegal that I don't know what I'm doing. They used some kind of artificial intelligence technology to deactivate my third eye, where I would have natural telepathy. So basically, I'm getting V2K, which is the criminals, that I'm actually starting to get natural telepathy from the telepathic supporters and the people that actually are good. So I think I'm going to have to go to the bathroom. Hold on a second. They really push on my bowels every time I make these videos. It's very, very uncomfortable. I don't think it's humanly possible to go through the amount of torture that I've gone through. So, this trip had to be done, Shia, for me in order for me to do what I had to do with the Vortex Joshua Tree. But I was able to call. I called at 7:30 a.m. To Joshua Tree because I was wondering, is there any like days that are free that I can go to? Because I don't want to spend $30. Yeah, you have to pay for a week pass to get into Joshua Tree, and a ranger said the people in the office aren't here. I'm just a ranger, but I know that you can go at off hours because there's no gates. So I showed up at 6:30. I'll tell you. I'll try to explain it, like the whole trip. I'll show you my photographs. That will probably make it. Let me show you my photographs. Actually, I'm not going to show you the photographs yet. I'm going to read the notes and I'm going to show you the photographs. So yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. That it was such a satisfying, hot, fresh cooked breakfast, and somehow they knew. There's a hummingbird that just went in my window. They were trying to mind control me to go to McDonald's. I wanted pancakes with syrup so bad. Well, I have been craving those like little single serve packets of syrup. I actually have been craving those ever since I saw those on the internet. But McDonald's food is pretty gross. I've actually, the last time I went, I had to throw out the chicken fingers. Couldn't eat it. I couldn't eat them there. I was like gagging on them. The French fries were like okay, are okay. The hamburgers are good, but they're always like not like hot enough. So Chick-fil-A has really good breakfast food. Too bad they don't have a pork-free option of sausage. I would have gotten like the sausage, egg and cheese biscuit sandwich, but we'll make those, Shia. So that really made the trip, having that breakfast at Carmel Mountain Road, and somehow I basically, this was the trip. I'll explain to you the trip. I went to Walmart to get the check in the morning, dropped off the rent check, drove up to Marietta Spring Road, which was like an hour and a half drive. I would like go visit that area because of the vortex energy there. Anywhere there's hot springs, there's vortexes. So I stopped there, got a coffee, made the video for you. Then, well, I'm not going to explain it completely, but then I drove up to Palm Springs, hung out there a little bit, went to Joshua Tree. Then I was going to drive 3 hours east towards Sedona in the pitch dark. Ended up, I was driving through a shitty town. There was no services for 100 miles, so I had to turn back to get the gas in the shitty town. It was so sketchy. They had to put stickers on the gas station pumps where the credit cards are, and they said if this is not sealed, the machine's been tampered with. So people just sit there and wait to steal people's money. It was one of the sketchiest neighborhoods I've ever stopped in a long, long time. And that's one thing that I tried to really stay away from when I was traveling, is shitty neighborhoods. And I would purposely Google Whole Foods, because Whole Foods is always in nice neighborhoods, and that would keep me out of neighborhoods. But once in a while, I was driving through tons of shitty neighborhoods. And I think when we go traveling, Shire, we're going to want to try to stay away from driving through bad neighborhoods as much as possible, because there's always a chance the car could break down, or you need gas, or you have to go to the bathroom. And I suffered a lot holding in my bladder, my bowels, driving through very bad areas. And that's one thing I was not good about. I drive through them and not stop, but I would still drive through them. And it's like a pure demon portal driving through those shitty neighborhoods. But so I will explain this better, even if it takes me 2 hours to try to explain everything that happened. I want to explain everything in detail. But after that gas station trip, I'm in the 100 miles, which was just driving through a bunch of and why am I driving in the dark? This was set up to kill me. I was supposed to go to Sedona. There was a death plot in Sedona, and they were trying to hook me in, saying you're gonna meet Shia, It was kind of planned out. People were acting like you were gonna be there. There's subliminal messages and signs from bad AI, or good AI tricking bad AI. I don't know, but basically, I was. I even had someone was putting their yield lights in front of me, to try to wake me up and drive in front of me, because somehow the good AI told him that what's going on with how they were trying to torture me to get me in trouble with an accident. So, but after I went to Joshua Tree, I drove through Joshua Tree. Then I'm okay, I'm going to go to Sedona now. Because if I don't drive now, I'm never going to get there. Well, so some of this plan just didn't make sense, because it wasn't my plan. But if I were to have kept driving to Sedona, something very bad would have happened. If I was low on gas, I only had a gallon left. Well, I don't know if it was called a gallon, but I think it was maybe 2 gallons. I wouldn't have made it 100 miles with no services, so I had to turn back, stop at this really awful neighborhood that was really worse than worse than usual neighborhoods. 29 Palms is a very bad area. And then after that happened, I said, there's no way I'm going to drive to Sedona right now. I'm going to go back and drive through Joshua Tree, because I'm so filthy from driving through this demon portal. I want to get that energy back from the Joshua Tree. And us being channel shy, we're like sponges. We just take in all the good and bad energy, so it can get really gross. So I drove through Joshua. I got gas. I drove. Once I stopped at that gas station, and it had that seal on it, I put my card in, But then everybody was just sitting around like at the gas stations waiting. I think what they do is they trade gas for like DRUGS, and they're just sitting there at the gas station waiting for someone to show up with like money to give them DRUGS. I think that was what was going on. There was some kind of drug deals happening, and they're all looking at me, and I was like, something very bad could happen to me right now in this moment. So it declined my card, probably because of the person in the building declines cards and makes people walk in to actually get the money. But ended up, I went back in the car. My ear is itchy. I went back in the car and waited to see that the thing was really actually declined, because it was like delaying. And then I finally drove away, and I mean, it was like ghetto, like extreme ghetto. So I drove back to Josh Street, got gas at a gas station, and I really don't understand how, never mind, I'm not going to talk about that. Got gas station, went up to Joshua Tree. There was, I've seen some police cars, which was good to see. I went up to Joshua Tree again, drove through Joshua Tree. It's not like me to drive in the dark. It had to be done, apparently. It had to be done. And I couldn't pay $30. And if I were to go in the hot sun during the day and pay the $30, I really needed the energy of the air coming in through the car, and the cars, I would have had to keep the windows shut. But the heat didn't bother me when I went to Palm Springs. It was 113 degrees in Palm Springs. I thought I was going to die on this trip. I couldn't believe, and I really thought I was going to go to Sedona and have to like live a few dollars a day again and freak out. Thank God that didn't happen. I don't want to be back here. If I had some extra money, which potentially I could do this next month, it's just very dangerous because anything could really happen. Anything could happen in regards to the interference with like a car damage. Something could happen to the car, and I could be stranded in Sedona, and that's why I packed so much. I thought I was going to be stranded in Sedona. I thought something was going to be bad happening to me. But then I went through Joshua Tree twice. No, I went through the Joshua Tree. I went all the way through the Joshua Tree, then all the way back. Went to 20 Palm Springs, turned back. Then went because I wasn't going to go to 3 hours east towards Sedona because it was too dangerous, and I was there torturing me. I was like, "There's no way I'm going to make it. I'm going to be stuck in the middle of the night on a side of the road," and I don't do that. I would be too afraid. So I went back through drove through Joshua Tree, and I didn't know the other side led to 29 Palms, so I had to drive through that shitty neighborhood again, which really was annoying. Then I had to drive an hour and 40 minutes to get to the closest rest area, which was, I slept there before when I went up to Joshua Tree, and I got too scared to sleep overnight there, or camp overnight there, or I just needed a place to stay while I was at Joshua Tree during the times that I needed a place to sleep. It was either the rest area, which was really, really dirty, but this pilot had gotten wicked dirty, like really, really ghetto. There was like really a lot of weirdness. People standing around with suitcases, waiting for people. Really, really like dirty, trashy cars. A very, very evil, demonic portal area. So I'm just sitting there in 94-degree weather at 1 in the morning to 2 in the morning. I ended up dozing off a couple times, but I woke up the second or third time. There was someone in the car there that was obviously looked healthy and like not evil, and was sort of like in an AC car with the window rolled up, and it really made me jealous. And I'm like, I'm getting weak, I'm getting tired, like my bones are getting achy. This isn't just 94-degree weather. I couldn't roll the windows down completely because I was in such a bad area, bad neighborhood. Someone could just reach in and grab me or cut me or do whatever. So I kind of had the windows a little bit rolled up too high, and it was 94 degrees out, so obviously the car's going to be hotter, so I had to drive, and I got up at 3 in the morning I only had 6 hours before, and on top of the AI weapons they were using to make me so tired. I drove slow the whole time, most of it, and I got some, at some points I had energy, and I was very awake from the good AI. So I ended up driving, and after that 29 Palms Pilot truck stop rest area, which has rapidly gotten way worse. Or maybe I was so possessed I didn't even notice. Like those 2 years ago or a year ago. Maybe I was so possessed I didn't even notice how ghetto it was and dangerous. Obviously I'm in a lot more danger now, and I didn't think I was in that much danger before. But I drove to this area, and they knew where Lemurians were taking me to a specific specific gas station where I could park right in the front in a good neighborhood, and it was like a vortex. So I literally slept there for 3 hours solid. I only woke up a few times, and no one bothered me. Only one person woke me up saying, "Do you work here? Do you work here?" And he wasn't bad. There's a hummingbird again. Oh, so I'm going to have to tell you all the notes, but I woke up at 3 a.m. and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. It's completely daylight. I have to start driving back. And it was like 2 hours away to here. And I was back on the road, drove about an hour, and I was like, I can't make it. And then it was 7 a.m. Like, there's not going to be any parking at 7 a.m. Luckily, there was several spots this morning at about 8:30. So I went to Chick-fil-A, got the breakfast sandwich, the coffee, the hash browns, sat in a really nice plaza area in Carmel Mountain Ranch, which is a vortex area I don't usually visit, I should be. It's only a half an hour away. I would definitely shop in that area and just visit that area, walk around. It's so nice, such good energy. So I sat in the parking lot. I got some messages. Like, a lot of people are saying up, up, up. Death penalty for these criminals torturing and killing Cheyenne, Alyssa, and others. So now I'm going to talk to you about more of the notes, as I haven't really been talking about the notes. But a lot of information I'm starting to realize more and more. Like in regards to the litter issue, a lot of homeless people don't have access to trash bags and plastic bags and trash cans, so they litter everywhere. However, that's not completely true, because there's a lot of litter in this building, and I took some photographs of how this building gets trashed. So people just throw stuff on the ground here all the time. There's litter on the ground. There's food on the ground. There's a bunch of chips. Graffiti on the elevator. It says imp. I think that's a devil, I don't know. Trash in the elevator. And this is not a management maintenance issue. This is the people who live here issue. People just putting a bottle of Gatorade on the ground. What's this? Trash in the window. Trash in the corner. Look at all the damage on all the walls. This is a rough place in terms of hygiene. And what else was on the ground near the elevators? Dog shit. And someone obviously rode their bike up through it. Looks like. So you see a lot of dog urine and dog shit. I understand if someone's handicapped, people are handicapped here, but this isn't about being handicapped. So I wanted to show you some of the litter that happens. But in regards to litter, I don't litter. I'm not a litterer. I don't litter. And I know that there's always litter all over the place, especially in bad neighborhoods. And it's easier to create a demon portal when there's trash everywhere. Demons do not like cleanliness. They love trash and it's not true though. A lot of clean places, a lot of evil people live in clean, nice areas. Evil people have infiltrated in both poor and wealthy areas. But everyone's really waking. But I didn't realize that some of the trash outside could be from homeless that don't have trash in plastic bags, trash cans, plastic bags, trash. It's possible that's why. But everybody's pretty brainwashed and waking up to things, and not everybody knows everything that's going on. But people purposely litter, like in this building. And I don't think it's just laziness. I really think that they're creating some kind of demon portal, and I've thought of this many, many times. So 15 South and 15 North, Route 15 South and 15 North, there's a beautiful vortex energy in that route, Carmel Mountain Ranch area that I didn't know about. And Shia, you pushed me to do the trip, and a lot of some of the stuff that I'm doing I wouldn't normally do. I know it was you, because I know it was you, Shia. I know it was you, and that pushed me to do this trip into. Obviously, you're getting just as tortured as I am. But I'm able to take some photographs of some of the people in the public that are doing the signs and the messages to show you. People are getting very angry to be able to participate like this, to give me signs and messages. Some of them are just attacks though, so they're trying to take over the bad AI attacks that I would be, because people put people on when I go out in public. I didn't know about this, but people actually stalk me and find me where I am and visit me and attack me. So 29 Palms is such a gross neighborhood. I can't believe it's such a demon portal. I don't believe it was that ghetto, that pilot rest area. I remember sleeping, I think I've slept there once or twice. It might have been in winter time. It's probably really gross, more gross in the summertime with the hot air and the trashy smells. That might have been it too. But there's an orchestration that's going on with this good AI that's larger than what I know. And a lot of people are defending other people. I never thought that it revolved around me and you, Shia. So they were trying to close my eyes many, many, many times and just have this straining feeling where my brain was literally falling asleep many, many times. Obviously, I drove very, very slow. I wouldn't drive around near close to vehicles, and I was being as safe as possible. I had to get where I had to go. You know, in regards to the 93 degrees at that pilot rest area, the smells were very, very bad. It was so energetically and physically dirty. To imagine going to like this paradise Joshua Tree and then having to go to this filthy rest area afterwards. It was not a good feeling. Luckily, I was able to drive to a gas station in a good neighborhood where there was a really nice vortex energy. But a lot of times, when I do things at these vortexes, they'll immediately afterwards start making faces and like moving my body, jerking my body, and making ugly faces, painful faces, and talking out loud to try to say, there's nothing that you can do. We're not going away. It's impossible. You're always going to be possessed. You're never going to be with Shia, and that's never going to change. Well, what I did at these vortexes is permanent, and the way that they torture me, they get a little quiet at the vortex, but then they come right back, wicked, wicked bad, to try to say, no, we're not going anywhere, and there's nothing that you can do. Well, honestly, it's not like a matter of winning or losing at this point. It's not about winning or losing. They just want to keep torturing us. But they think, and I think too, if they still have the ability to torture me and you, then they're somewhat winning, because we're not together, Shy, and we're still getting tortured. It's not. The problem is we need to get our protection. We have to get our protection because we have been we have all this AI and demons in us. We don't have as much protection to ward off all the attacks. Cops are watching though, and there's a female in this building that's always kind of around, using AI and harassing me and doing things with her clothes, and always telling me that that female criminal that stole your DNA is so much better than me, and I'm so jealous of her. There's a constant harassment going on. Well, cops are watching what she's doing, and people have shit on her, and people don't like her, so people could be investigated and get in trouble and punished, not for the covert harassment that's being done to me, but other things that she did to other people. But I did feel I was off the hook, because if I went to Sedona, that would have been pure torture, driving 7 hours with all of this fatigue AI. There's no way I could have done it, and they're still doing it to me. It's this heavy feeling. It's almost like when you hit your funny bone, it's in my head. It's they put hitting your funny bone in your head, and the fatigue feeling. So I went to Joshua Tree, and I was okay, I'm just going to take a nap. Ended up not even being half an hour. I left because I was so scared, because it was getting dark, and there's a weird sound that couldn't, of someone brushing sand over and over and over, and I didn't know where it was coming from. Then I thought it was animals. And then I got scared. I saw a bunch of bats, too, flying out from the Jumbo Rock campground. A bunch of bats hovering and flying over my car. I think I got a footage of at least one of them, but they this all came out for 3 minutes. It would freak me out, because I don't think bats are hygienic. I think that was some kind of evil thing. And then they all disappeared. And when I took the camera out, they disappeared. And that was a weird thing that happened. Also, I ran over I think I might have hit a mouse, and there was all these rodents, little white-haired mice, running across the Joshua Tree road. Like, there was about 6 of them that I spotted. Even not even in Joshua Tree, in another area of Joshua Tree. Yeah, I think that was and one I saw was actually dead. I drove by a dead one. I think all that seeing all those rodents was definitely a sign. And I also spotted 2 lizards and took photos of lizards. I never ever see lizards just stop in their tracks and stare at me. I also saw like this little, like, it wasn't really a fox, because it had like white hair. It wasn't like a coyote. It was a small, like, it looked like kind of like a fox with like no bushy tail, like all white hair and like really, really large ears. And it just stared at me. I saw so much wildlife, and I never ever see wildlife like that. I couldn't believe how much wildlife I saw. And the rodents was pretty gross. I like saw little mouse hopping across the street, like literally hopping. So I saw a mouse. One of the mouse were hopping. 2 of them like running. One of them was just on its flat on its back, dead, rolled over. I saw a dead snake. It actually, though, Joshua Tree is like wicked clean. They keep Joshua Tree so clean. All surrounding it, 29 palms. Even the town of Joshua Tree is filthy ghetto, filthy gross. Because Joshua Tree is like some kind of very, very powerful vortex, equivalent to Sedona. So it's not like me to go out like in the dark like that, but I had to get it over with because I knew I was coming back, and I wanted to take one more drive through Joshua Tree, because there's 2 entrances. You can leave both entrances, and I thought that the entrance I never took would lead closer to the rest area, and it didn't. They always like make my ear itchy with AI. So you don't get in trouble going through Joshua Tree after hours or in the morning. People probably do go through that for work too, after work or something. So there's a lot of people driving around Joshua Tree. Not as much campers as usual. I think that was because see a butterfly. It went past the building. I obviously think about your parents. I think about how bad that was that happened to your mom, and I have something wrong with my personality where I can't really express myself and how I really feel. I know I'm sounding like really like not sensitive enough about what happened with your parent. It's really going to be unfortunate if I don't. It's gonna be unfortunate if I don't meet you, and I don't meet at least one of your parents. I'm not saying that. I'm sure he has got a much longer life. However, I'm just thinking that also is that hit me so hard when your mom died. Like it hit me so hard. I was manually posting on Instagram up until the point your mom died, and then after that I said, this is such a demon portal. I'm so weak that your mom died, I can't even post on Instagram every day. I need to have like a boundary to protect myself, to keep my, because I really wanted to make sure that you felt that I was manually posting and like connecting with you every day, and I was doing that for years. However, at that point after your mom died, I couldn't keep that demon, because it was part demon portal. It was helping because it was connecting with us, but it was part demon portal, so I had to manually schedule a few months worth of posts at a time. But it was kind of like what happened with your hair. That's a serious milestone. Like, that's a serious milestone that happened to you. It was so offensive that I had to, it was so offensive that I had to go through that, seeing the DNA of you and it being changed on a CN. It was like, it killed me. It killed part of my spirit, Shia. And with your mother, it killed part of my spirit, because I still did not understand why we could not meet, at least in time to be able to meet your parent. Because even if like with my parents, even if like I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I think it's a little bit different with my parents, with your parents. I like your parents better at this point. My parents are 100% cut off. You're gonna meet them somehow though. But I think now that I'm like, I actually read a book about the afterlife. I'm not as scared about the afterlife as much anymore, and because we've both been so close to death, I think we're like not as afraid of death anymore. However, it doesn't really matter. That was really not just poor timing that your mother died like that. And I'm pretty sure my heart problems that I was having before the strokes didn't go undetected. I went to a heart specialist, and they said, well, you need to go. I don't really do things about stroke. I just look at the heart. Well, my heart was the thing that caused the stroke, because there was a clump of blood that went up into my head. I think that doctor's going to get, it's possible that doctor would get sued, the heart specialist, and it was covering up. That heart specialist was covering it up before I even, before the other things, because he said he couldn't find anything wrong with my heart. And there was a lot of heart issues that I was having. I was having my heart just clamp over and over and over with like a fist clenching. I literally feel my organ clench, and I wake up with that happening to me many, many times. So, also what happened in Joshua Tree, I turned my car off, and you know how like the radio CD heater area is kind of lit with a color when you turn the lights on, like it lights up blue? It was blinking, and that's a sign of UFO metaphysical activity if lights blink. I've never seen that before. That was a very serious sign. I just can't wait to go to Joshua Tree with you, Shia, and like spend a lot of time there. There's no way that I could, just the thought of getting out in the dark, it's not just a phobia of getting out in the dark. I was like extremely terrorized. Like anytime I was in the dark anywhere, I was going to get killed, murdered. The cluster of bats, I think that was very bad actually. I think that was like something evil that was sent to me, because they were getting really close to my vehicle. I don't like bats. They're pretty gross. But when I laid down for like a half an hour in Joshua Tree, like as it was getting dark close to pitch dark, I laid down with your blanket, Shia, and there's a good amount of butterflies in this courtyard. I love it. I laid down with your blanket, my pillow, in the car seat with the wheel, just in case I had to like go wicked fast. And there was this breeze coming from, I was in the Jumbo Rocks campground area where there's these large jumbo rocks. They're like really smooth. It's like a crystal. And there was like this breeze that was hitting my face and my skin. It was like pure heaven. It just felt like pure heaven, like just like crystalline streams of energy of the breeze just like hitting my face and my skin. I mean, I would have liked to stay there longer, but it wasn't possible. There's no way I could have made it. I would have been up in a state of panic every single second, thinking that someone's going to kill me, because there's no lights in Joshua Tree. But it was like a heavenly paradise. Oh shoot! I gotta start part 2. But that strange sweeping noise like freaked me out, and I eventually, like, it just wouldn't go away. I had to leave. So I'm gonna start part 2. Actually, I'm gonna start part 2, Shia, and tell you more about the trip and show you the photographs. I took some photographs of Palm Springs. I remember, Shia, reading about the Krogers. There's one thing that Hannah wrote about me and you, Shia, me and Hannah and Rudolph. We had a camper and we drove out to Palm Springs, and with our daughter that was in the wheelchair, and Hannah wanted to go out in the pool in the middle of the morning or something, and so there's something like that. But it was really interesting to know that we went to Palm Springs with our camper. I bet you we were visiting the vortexes in that lifetime. So Palm Springs is definitely a vortex. So I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to start part 2 now. Thank you everybody I love you Shia. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you so much, Shia, for watching.